So today's video is going to be all about foundations, and more specifically my favorite foundations that I have found work best for my oily, acne-prone skin. And I just want to throw in a quick disclaimer that while these foundations work really well for me and don't make me break out, everyone's skin is different and people's skin react differently to different products. So while I've had good luck with these foundations, not everyone may feel the same way, so that's just something to keep in mind. But if you do have oily, acne-prone skin and scarring like I do, you might really like these foundations, so I wanted to share them with you guys in this video. And as you can tell from the title, I do have 4 foundations that I'm going to be talking about, and I know 4 seems kind of like a random number, and it was actually going to be 5 foundations because there is 5 that I absolutely love. The 5th one was going to be the Lauder Mercier Silk Cream Foundation, just the original formula in the brown tube, but I realized that I ended up throwing out my last little tube of it like a few weeks ago. It was just almost empty and I hadn't used it in forever, so I tossed it, and I figure it's been so long that I've used it that I wouldn't even know really what to say about it anymore because I don't remember the specific reasons that I liked it, but I did wear that foundation for like a couple straight years, so definitely a good one to check out too. So yeah, honorable mention goes to the Lauder Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. One thing that I do want to mention is that I am very picky with foundations. I'm not one of those people where you look at my makeup collection and I have like 30 different foundations. I'm very, very picky since I do have kind of more problematic skin, so when I find a foundation that I like, I really stick with it. I have a very like ride or die mentality with my favorite foundations. So these are tried and true, all-time holy grail favorite products that I'm going to be talking about. And jumping into the foundations, I'm going to kick this off with what is definitely my top favorite foundation, and it is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Foundation. This retails for $51 Canadian. I'll have the US prices listed in the down bar as well as links to all of these products that I talk about as well. So this is a foundation that obviously claims 12-hour wear. It's also an oil-free formulation, and it is truly suitable for all skin types because they have the more purifying and mattifying Amazonian clay in this foundation, but then they also have ingredients like hyaluronic acid, which will help to hydrate and keep it from being too drying. I do use this foundation in my foundation routine, which I will have linked, so I kind of go over a few of these things in that video, but I do have a few favorite tools that I like to apply this product with, and the first one is my Sigma F50. I just want to throw in another disclaimer. I do have quite a few Sigma brushes in this video. I am not sponsored by Sigma. I have paid for every brush on my own, aside from a set that was a birthday present from my boyfriend. But yeah, I bought these myself. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not sponsored. Sigma has no idea who I am. I just truly love Sigma brushes. So yeah, Sigma F80, just a really dense flat top Kabuki brush. You get really nice coverage with this one. And then I also like the Real Techniques buffing brush and also the Beauty Blender as well. Beauty Blender is probably my least favorite out of the 3, but I do really like all 3 of these. And the thing with this foundation is a lot of people don't like it because it tends to look very heavy if you're not applying it the right way. So when I worked for Sephora, our Tarte rep basically told me that the best way to apply this foundation is to buff it in really lightly into your skin with circular motions. So my favorite is probably the Real Techniques buffing brush, because it's a little bit fluffier than the Sigma brush. I can really buff it into the skin just with like a really light touch, not putting a lot of pressure on it. And it just takes away the heavy quality of it, and it gives it more of like a slightly natural finish on the skin. So yeah, definitely a foundation that changes based on how you apply it. And I find a lot of people don't like it as much because they don't know the best way to apply it. Yeah, this foundation just sits really nicely on my skin. Tarte products just in general work really well for my skin and my acne. And I find with this foundation, I get about 7 to 8 hours of wear before I will start seeing some separation in my like very oily areas, but it's easy to fix with like a mattifying powder. You just smooth it out, or like blotting sheets. My one con about this is that it's not super transfer proof in the areas that I do get very oily. So if I like touch my face or bump my face like towards the end of the day, I find my foundation can kind of like slide off, which isn't a very desirable quality to have in a foundation. So I just have to make sure that I'm like not touching my face and be a little bit careful when I am wearing this. But all in all, it is definitely a favorite, and I wear the shade Ivory in this foundation, and it does come in a total of 25 different shades, in case you guys were wondering. Moving right along to the newest favorite that I'm going to be talking about, and that is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This retails for $57 Canadian, and I have talked about it quite a bit at length. I actually have 2 other videos on it, so I'm not going to talk about this one for forever. This foundation does claim a 16-hour wear time, and it is also oil-free, and this has quickly become a favorite of mine because the coverage for this is just, it blows all my other ones out of the water. Like I have some pretty full coverage foundations there, but nothing is as immaculate and as flawless as this foundation. It's a really good time saver when you're applying it too, because it really just glides over your skin and it's so effortless when you apply it. And my favorite tool to apply this with, I have a couple And they're also Sigma brushes as well. The first one is the Sigma F82 and then the F88, which is like an angled brush. Once again, they're both from their Sigmax Kabuki line, so really, really dense, really good for buffing in. I like the angled one too. I use this mostly when this one is dirty. But this one's nice too because you can kind of swipe downwards and just get like a really nice smooth finish. The only thing with this foundation is that it can get quite shiny on my skin, which to me, even though I have oily skin, I'm not super fixated on being like totally matte all the time. I used to totally feel that way, and I was like constantly powdering and blotting my face and hunting for like the most matte products in the world basically, but it's not that big of a deal to me anymore. First sign of aging is lack of radiance, so I figure I might as well embrace my oily skin while I'm young. So I mean, obviously it has Luminous in the name. If you want a really matte finish, steer clear of this, but if you are looking for something that is really weightless and really lightweight on your skin and just looks super flawless, then I would highly recommend this product. And I wear the shade Mont Blanc, and it comes in a total of 20 different shades. Next up, we have the super popular Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. A lot of people talk about this product. This retails for $44 Canadian. And this is a foundation that really truly works for all skin types, from everyone to very dry to very oily. It really seems to work well for everyone. Also oil-free as well, and this has a pretty heavy-duty coverage. I was reading the description for this on the Sephora website before filming this video, and one of the claims of it is that it's lightweight, and I have to say I definitely disagree with that. It is a very heavy-duty, full coverage foundation, like I just said. It does provide really great coverage though. And my favorite way to apply this was always using the Beauty Blender. Beauty Blender is really great if you have a heavier foundation and you want to kind of make it a little bit more natural feeling on the skin. But it also doesn't cut down on the coverage at all, I found, using it with the Beauty Blender. So yeah, this is a really great option specifically for acne scarring, I find. And they even have like a maximum coverage version. I have a friend who has more like textural like rough texture acne scarring, and she really likes the maximum cover because she finds it helps to even smooth over the rough texture. There's not much you can do for textural acne scarring, but she did really like that one, and it did make a difference in her skin. And then they also have a light version if you want something a little bit lighter and you don't necessarily need full coverage. And yeah, I never had any issues with this like separating or getting oily on my skin. The wear time was incredible. Like it would last like a full 8 to 10 hour workday on my skin, which is great. And I know I'm gonna get questions about this. The little pump that I have on here, sorry this packaging is so dirty by the way, I could not remove this foundation on it. But yeah, the pump is from MAC. I don't know the price off the top of my head. I want to say it's like $8 or $9. I'll have the price written here. But yeah, you can go to MAC and then it fits on here because regularly this just comes with a little cap and you have to pour it out, and you do end up wasting a lot of product that way. So yeah, definitely check out the pump from MAC. I wear the shade N1N Ivory Nude, and this does come in a total of 30 shades, so best shade range option here. And my final favorite foundation is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup, and this is a foundation that I think is so truly underrated in the beauty community, especially with all the hype that the Urban Decay Naked products get. I don't know why like no one talks about this because it's truly a great product, and this is the foundation that I reach for when my skin is actually behaving a little bit better, which it hasn't been lately. This foundation is definitely a more medium buildable kind of coverage, not as intense coverage as my other options that I've just talked about. And my favorite way to apply this was actually with the Urban Decay Optical Blurring Brush that they released to go with this foundation. I've tried applying it with other tools, but all in all, this is my complete favorite to apply it. It just buffs in the product really nicely, and you just get a really nice even application when you're using this brush. And I realized I think I just forgot to mention that the price of this one is $45, so sorry if I didn't mention that before. And this is one of my favorites because it really truly looks natural and really just feels like skin. It is very lightweight as it describes in the name of the product. And while it's not going to completely eradicate and cover like every little bit of scarring or hyperpigmentation on your skin, it does have that kind of buildable quality to it. So you can really customize the coverage. Like one day if you're having a particularly bad breakout, you can really add a little bit more in that spot to build up the coverage, and it never gets like heavy or cakey looking. It always remains really natural looking. So I like that you can really like customize this and fit your skin needs no matter what is really kind of going on with your skin. And I use shade 0.5, and this one has 18 shades, so the least amount of shades in this one. So yeah, that wraps up all of my favorite foundations for acne and acne scarring. Let me know if you've tried any of these foundations, or if you have any favorites that I didn't mention that work really well for you, because I am definitely interested in checking them out. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you found this video helpful or interesting, and don't forget to hit subscribe down below as well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.